I don't know what was more frustrating, spending over 1 hour and a half in front of my computer or paying double the price elsewhere. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you some thoughts about my experience ordering on Hobonichi Day. How was your experience? Did you end up ordering from other vendors? Or did you actually go back to sleep and order directly from Hobonichi after the fix? Let me know down below. I am very curious if a lot of you were patient enough to wait it out and go to sleep without thinking about it, or did you panic like me and secure your Hobonichis elsewhere by paying double the price? Please let me know down below. I, like everyone else, was very prepared. I logged in well before the slotted time, the opening time, loaded my credit card details, made sure my payment was up to date, double checked my mailing address, and I was, favoriting all of my the stuff I planned to get, and that happened. So it's like very surprising that it was as bad as it was. And if you went through this, you know exactly what happened. But in case you didn't, and I will briefly go over it. On launch day, 2 days ago, we were sitting in front of our computers, and what's expected is that the Hobonichi server website would be overloaded with traffic, and it would take a while, a few tries to get in and put through your order. As usual, the previous years, 15 minutes into it, 20 minutes, you would be able to check out no problem. Except this year, no, that's not what happened. We were sitting there 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then we started to lose everything in our carts, and then we had to reload everything and then refresh, and then repeat the cycle, lose everything in our carts, restart, refresh, re-add everything back in, and then realized the Mina was out of stock. The origami paper I wanted was out of stock. Weeks was getting out of stock, and then 1 hour in, we were still sitting there refreshing. And when I say we, I was in the launch party chat on the Hobonichi users Facebook group, amazing group. Check it out if you haven't. And it was just appalling how it seemed nobody was able to get their order through, and it was already an hour in. It was an hour in. I was there at 10. I was well before 10. I would say like 9 o'clock, 9:15, just making my last minute decisions on what I'm gonna get, because that's just how it goes. And so I was well prepared in terms of like setting up my account and stuff. So then I was there half an hour in, and then it was when Mina started to get sold out. I was like getting worried, and I was thinking this can't be, because previous years I had no problems checking out after 15 minutes after the rush was initially done. Not this year. So I was sitting there over an hour, and then like I was thinking that if this doesn't work out, which it isn't, I would have to go to my option B and go to my local shops. And I checked them out, and my weeks and the stuff was getting out of stock. So I was really sad because I couldn't order from my local shop. So I had to shop around at other vendors. And I freaked out. I kind of like panicked because at this point I was I invested, like, thinking about doing this launch day order and contemplating it. Up until this point, I have already invested many hours. Before I do my videos, I also write notes and I kind of like list out the things and I calculate, okay, this is what I'm going to get. This is, what I'm not going to get, and sort of like weighing my options on like deciding where to order. And I also want to give a shout out to Allison at Little Coco Studio. She reached out earlier in the day and offered to do a group order together, but at that point I I had no idea what like my order would be yet. At the point I was still debating if I should get this or add this into my order, and if I do that, like, like versus ordering on Hobonichi, or so I was in nowhere near like finalizing my list, so I didn't do that. But thank you so much, Allison. I hope you got everything you needed. I know you had some issues with Hobonichi as well. But yeah, so 99% of the people, went through this same thing, sitting there, and I feel so bad for people in Europe that told me they were waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning and not being able to order. I panicked and ordered from different vendors in my city, and it hurt my wallet so badly that I just couldn't really, like, this whole experience was so frustrating, but to add salt to the wound, I had to pay double the price, right? That made it like even worse. And I slept on it, and a few of you told me on Instagram. I know I was talking to a few. I don't remember who, but I think the name is it Anad? Sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, but we were going back and forth, and they canceled their local orders, and then made a Hobonichi direct order to save on the money. Because if you're buying more than 2 items, it would be worth it to save the money and go directly to Hobonichi and plus you get the freebies. So I had time to sit down and calculate the value and how much I would save, because what I didn't notice is, or didn't know this beforehand until someone commented on my last video. Thank you so much for the person that told me that Hobonichi since last year has included the import fees in the checkout process, so there would be no more extra fees when you receive your package. So because of that, I was able to go on the website and sit down and look at the numbers. So I did this last night, really recently. So if I told you that I'm like, forget it, even though it's fixed, I'm not going back, I want it one and done, I have to take that back, because when I saw I would have saved over $50 Canadian by ordering direct, and on top of that I get the unboxing and the freebies I wanted, I wouldn't have known that at the time. At the night of the launch, I was actually venting my frustrations with Sarah from Kaku Kato. Sorry if I mispronounce your channel on Instagram. So hey, shout out to Sarah, she's watching this. But yeah, like, I was totally venting, and we were both really, really frustrated with the process, and she actually had to, lose a lot of sleep over this due to the time difference. And then I was also like checking on the Facebook group, and it just seems like across the board, very little people, I would say 99.9%, could not get their orders through. And also, I realized it's not just the Western side or the global side. It's also some local Japanese orders that experience this. So it's actually quite impacted a lot of different types of customers. And I saw a picture from the lineup on the Facebook group regarding the lineup outside Tobichi shop in Japan. I was like, oh wow, that is insane. And I'm sure Hobonichi is feeling it now, or was feeling it a lot when this happened. And I really hope that in the future they will make sure, maybe put something in place, because I've been hearing like a rumor that maybe it's like some scalper bots that are, you know, buying up all the stuff. So maybe a way to alleviate that, or to block them completely, or to just have better filters or something, like, because are you going to go through this again next year? Are you going to take the chance to that the same thing could happen next year? Because I'll tell you now that I'm not going to. The most I would do is wait until the next following day to do my order, or check in like 2 hours later to do my order, because I don't want to be sitting there clicking refresh for another hour and a half and then not being able to get in. And the anxiety didn't help, because as you do that, you're seeing things being out of stock, and that just really makes it even worse. So I definitely would not be sitting there right at launch minute. The word that I can use to describe this experience is disheartening. I was disheartened by this whole experience and by Hobonichi. And I feel like they need to do better for next year, because I really feel bad for the people that woke up at like 3 a.m. in the morning. I can't even imagine their frustrations. Before we go on, I wanted to point out Mr. Itoi Shigasato's message on his blog that was posted recently, and it included an apology, but I translated this into English, and it says that, as many of you may know, the system used to have congestion at the time of its release, but in recent years it has been able to be handled well and smoothly. However, this year we designed it to have more than double the load to make it even more reassuring, but in reality we received a number of requests that exceeded that by an order of magnitude, which resulted in inconvenience. We are truly sorry. From the afternoon to the evening Japan time, shopping returned to a smooth state, and we're truly grateful to those who understood the situation and cooperated calmly. After it gets dark in Japan, it becomes morning in the United States, and access there is concentrated. It is still a situation where we cannot let our guard down, but we will keep a sense of tension and keep a watchful eye so that you can shop safely. Thank you for your cooperation, shopping opinions, and support. Now let's get back to the video. I was able to get my freebie and save the money and get more stuff by ordering direct, because it really is not worth the money to spend that much money and only get a few items. And I feel like I had to do this to rectify my situation and make it right for me, is that after all of this, like website mess up, like why do I have to end up paying double the price for Hobonichi's mistake? So to make it right for me, I had to, rectify my situation and be able and actually get some of my money back and get what I want. I still wish that this didn't happen the way it did, but it did. So next year I will be smarter about the situation and I will avoid it. So kudos to you, to those people that woke up, it didn't work, and then went back to sleep, and then found out it was all good the next day. And so kudos to you. You have the courage, and I want to be like that for next year. So it really does sort of like forces us to slow down and rethink consumerism, like control ourselves and not be too carried away for next year. So that is a thing to keep in mind. So put that on a sticky note if you want. So that's why I wanted to make this video and share my experience and my thoughts. So what are you going to do for next year? And what are the things that you have learned from this experience? Please share it with me. Share your wisdom below, and I will talk to you guys next time.